titled Armageddon. How close is it? And some of the signs. I believe that the brothers who organized today's event, they were expecting, hoping for some non-Muslims to be here so as to do our job and our responsibility in terms of exposing people of other faiths about the reality of the balanced Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah, according to the understanding of the companions, radiallahu anhu. And I think from that angle, they called it Armageddon. But we should know that this is a word we should avoid when we're talking about Yawm al-Qiyamah, because it does not articulate the Islamic narrative. So the Christians call it Armageddon. It's a biblical term and it has a technical meaning, and it has a religious connotation that Christians specifically have. You go back to the Bible, there's a book in the Bible, in the New Testament, called the book of Genesis. It talks about Yawm al-Qiyamah. If you were to read that book, you wouldn't be able to understand it when it talks about what's going to happen Yawm al-Qiyamah. And for that reason, any and every Christian, layman, someone who is specialized, scholar, priest, anyone can come and read it and give his own interpretation. So Armageddon, it means the last battle that's going to happen before Yawm al-Qiyamah between the forces of good and evil. That's the Christian understanding of that word Armageddon. Go to the dictionary, that's the definition that they're going to give. It's either the battle itself or it is the place of the battle. That is not Yawm al-Qiyamah to us. For the Muslim, that's not Yawm al-Qiyamah at all. It is a part of Yawm al-Qiyamah in that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us in a number of authentic hadith that before Yawm al-Qiyamah happens, there are going to be many, many battles. So one of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah is that there are going to be multiple battles. He told the people sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل المسلمون الترك. The hour won't be established until Muslims fight the Turkish people. So that's one of the battles that's going to take place before Yawm al-Qiyamah. So Armageddon, meaning the battle before Yawm al-Qiyamah, it's a piece of Islam, it's a piece of what we understand. The Nabi told the people sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that there's going to be a battle between Isa ibn Maryam and the Dajjal. There's going to be that great battle, forces of good and the forces of evil. There's going to be a battle of the conquest of Palestine that happened during the time of Umar radiallahu anhu. That the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَعْدُدْ سِتًّا مِنْ قِيَامُ السَّاعَةِ. 6 things will happen before Yawm al-Qiyamah is established. And one of them he mentioned is Palestine will be conquered, Bayt al-Maqdis. And it happened during the time of the Khalifa Umar radiallahu anhu. That's not Armageddon though. The point, ikhwani, and we're going to elaborate on this a little further inshallah down the line because it is important. It's part of the problems that we're dealing with right now. The point is, Islamically, religiously, as Muslims, as a Muslim, you as a Muslim, get away from the usage of the terminology that does not articulate the concept and ideas that have been revealed in the Quran and the Sunnah. And Muslims, we easily embrace these concepts from these people. Now is not the time for that, but it happens. In the 40 hadith of Al-Imam al-Nawawi, the companion Abdullah, Sufyan ibn Abdullah, radiallahu anhu, he said a man came and said, Ya Rasulullah, tell me about something in Al-Islam that I only can ask you. The Prophet told him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. Say, you believe in Allah and then be upright. Istiqam. It means al-istiqama, to be upright. Those scholars of the past, they said, based on this hadith, whenever you want to describe someone who's practicing, you should use the religious word that the Nabi used in that hadith. And that is al-istiqama. In the Arab world, if someone comes to your family and they want to marry someone from your family, people say, is he multazam? It means, is he practicing his religion? And everyone understands what you mean. I'm not saying it's haram to use that description, that superlative. Is he multazam? But the Nabi didn't call it that. He called it al-istiqama. When Allah revealed the Quran and used words and terms, we should stick to those words and those terms. And when the Prophet ﷺ used words and terms, we should stick to those words and terms. If not, the door is going to be open for a lot of games to be played, like the issue of being a fundamentalist. These are buzzwords and play on words that these people are able to use to be an extremist. For an example, an extremist. In Islam, extremism is the person who goes too far to the right and he wants to kill and go crazy. He's extreme. He wants to pray all day, fast all day. That's extreme. He doesn't want to socialize with the people. That's extreme. But also in Islam is the extremist is the one who doesn't pray. She doesn't wear hijab. You're extreme. You have to be on the Sirat al-Mustaqim in the middle. Not too far to the right, not too far to the left. Both of those are extremes. But when we embrace from the media, we embrace the technology, the technical terms and understanding of these other people, what happens is we do injustice. We only see the extreme one as being the one who's going overboard. When your own sister's extreme, your father's an extremist, because he doesn't pray at all. As it relates to the issue of the Yawm al-Qiyamah and the closeness of Yawm al-Qiyamah, then clearly it's very close. So Allah Ta'ala mentioned a number of ayat in the Quran depicting that fact and bringing it to the attention of the people. اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. Allah said that the hour is close and the moon has been split, referring to the inshiqaq of the qamar during the time of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam. He said in the Quran, اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة معرضون. It has come close to human beings, their reckoning, and they are messing about and they're not cognizant of the fact that it's close to them, meaning death, Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّ السَّاعَةَ تَكُونُ قَرِيبًا. And how do you know? It may be that the hour is very close. 3 ayat mentioning the same point is a sign and an indication of that repetitive issue, is a sign and indication that there shouldn't be any doubt. When Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ over 30 times in Surah Ar-Rahman. Anytime there's repetition in the Quran, the Sunnah, it's telling the person, pay attention. I think it's serious. The Nabi told the people, he used to always speak and repeat himself about important things. Ad-Dinu Nasiha. Ad-Dinu Nasiha. Ad-Dinu Nasiha. Was that a case of Rasulullah just wasting time? No. He's saying, this thing that I'm telling you, pay attention, it's important. Inna ma'al usri yusra, fa inna ma'al usri yusra. Don't have any doubt. With whatever difficulty you're dealing with, there's going to be some ease. So if the Muslim is engaging with the Quran, reading it, living with the Quran and the Sunnah, that is a lesson that he knows. Repetition in the Quran and the Sunnah, one of the benefits of it is to remind. Inna dhikr tanfa al-mu'mineen. I'm not going to tell you anything here today that you didn't hear before, for the most part. Someone said everything that I'm about to say. But the ayah said, the remembrance benefits the believer. Another benefit for repetition is to let the person know that this thing is important. It's going to happen. Another ayah of the Quran in this regard, إِنَّهُمْ يَرُونَهُ بَعِيدًا وَنَرَاهُ قَرِيبًا. Verily, they see it as being far off, but we see it as being something close. So the point, ikhwati fillah, is that there are a number of ayat informing us, indicating, bringing to our attention, Yawm al-Qiyamah is qaribatun jiddan jiddan. You want to know how close it is? Rasulullah was collected by Imam Bukhari on the authority of Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu wa ardahu. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ma baqiya min ad-dunya ila kimiqdar an yusalli ar-rajul salat al-asr. He said the amount of time that remains of this dunya is like the amount of time that it takes for a man to pray salat al-asr. It doesn't take a long time to pray salat al-asr. Even if he said the amount of time it takes for a person to pray Salat al-Tarawih, relatively speaking, that's short. But he didn't say Tarawih, 11 rakat or 20. He said the amount of time that it takes to pray Salat al-Asr. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, bu'ithtu